Alright, budget magic time. Playing some Bantfinity Panharmonicon in standard. So many lands, so little action. I think we gotta ship that one. This is actually kind of better. Ooh, and a Panharmonicon. Alright, well, Lumbering Falls. The Panharmonicon makes this hand even better. This hand's gonna be really sweet, I think. Blooming Marsh for our opponent. So we get to Fortified Village, Revealing Plains, and play Servant. Get us some energy, pass the turn. So ideally, we'll just slam this Panharmonicon, and then next turn, Rogue Refiner. Looks like we're up against green-black. I think... Alright, there's a Grasp. That does slow us down. What do we draw? Meandering River. Well, let's just play Meandering River. We're not under any pressure yet, and I'd still like to get Panharmonicon down before Rogue Refiner if we have the option. There's a Liliana. Should be able to hopefully fight through Liliana. Takes it up. Another Panharmonicon. Well, play the Plains, play the Panharmonicon, and pass the turn. With this deck, too, we always have the possibility of the infinite combo, which makes it a little easier. Now we can Rogue Refiner, draw a couple cards, Canopy Vista. Are we tapping properly? Yeah, I think this is fine. So Rogue Refiner draws us 2, gains us some energy. Land and Eldritch Evolution. Play Canopy Vista and pass the turn. Grapple with the past. Gets back a Hissing Quagmire. So this is green-black Delirium. Probably less counter-focused. We don't have enough mana to Eldritch Evolution and Panharmonicon next turn. Takes up Liliana. Plays a Forest. And there's an Ob Nixilis Reignited. Opponent draws. Well, this is fine, because now we can Eldritch Evolution for Cloud Blazer. So let's do that. Sack our Rogue Refiner. Get a Cloud Blazer. Draw 4, gain 4. Not much action, though. Play a Lumbering Falls, and pass the turn. We are going to have to kill this Liliana eventually, or it's going to ultimate. Actually, it looks like it is going to ultimate, so we might have to just focus on trying to go infinite before Liliana kills us. Takes up Ob Nixilis, draws a card. If our opponent taps out, we do get to get back a Cloud Blazer. There's a Vessel and a Vessel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. Well, let's Lumbering Falls. Hit Liliana. Play a tap land and pass the turn. Can we go infinite next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4. Untap 2 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so we have a chance of going infinite next turn if our opponent's tapped out. Takes up Liliana. So let's see what our opponent does here. Tireless Tracker. Plays a land, gets a clue. Come on, play a Cletus or something. Alright, plays nothing. We draw another land. So Ob Nixilis can ultimate. That's pretty bad for us. Well, I think we gotta go for it. Since Ob Nixilis can ultimate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, play an island. Play Felidar Guardian. Untap 2 lands. If our opponent doesn't have a way to kill our stuff, then we get to just go infinite here and win that way. Wisweaver Angel. So blink, Felidar Guardian, blink Cloud Blazer. Cracks a clue. Okay. Wow, it's going to resolve. Alright. Draw a bunch of cards. Blink our Cloud Blazer. Well, we got it. This is the slow way, but it works. Blink Wisweaver, blink a land. Blink Felidar Sovereign and Cloud Blazer. See if our opponent scoops it up. We draw a bunch of cards. Blink Felidar Guardian. And our opponent scoops it up. No answer to the infinite combo. Getting there with the combo, even with our opponent having mana up. The turn before Ob Nixilis was about to ultimate. This combo is pretty sweet when it works, and we have a lot of value. The main card I'm interested in here would be probably Negate. Heroic Intervention isn't great at protecting the actual combo. This match might end up being about just outvaluing our opponent. So we can go down Pious Evangel. We can gain infinite life without it. Go down 1 Wisp Weaver Angel. Go down 1... The problem is if they just play a turn 2 Grim Flayer on the play, that's going to be rough. Maybe we go 3 Negates and go down a Prophetic Prism. Try it like that. Oh, dear. Thraben Inspector and lands? I do like lands. Not much value, though. I think this is fine. Thraben Inspector gets us a clue, draws us a card. We get to curve out into stuff. We also have Lumbering Falls, which is good at pressuring our opponent. There's a Servant. So Fortified Village, reveal Canopy Vista, and play Thraben Inspector. Get a clue, and pass turn. Blooming Marsh for our opponent. Well, let's get in for 1 with Thraben Inspector. Play an island, play a Servant of the Conduit, and ship the turn. I expect that Yahani's Expertise is a bit more likely now. Opponent grapples, gets a Swamp. There's a Swamp. And a Tireless Tracker. What do we draw? Another Lumbering Falls. Well, let's attack with Servant. If our opponent wants to give up Tireless Tracker to kill our Servant, I think that's a fine trade. Alright, opponent does not. So play Lumbering Falls and ship the turn. Ideally, we'll be able to cast this Cloud Blazer next turn. Cracks the clue. Pumps up the Tireless Tracker. Many tap lands right now. Fatal Push on our Servant. Well, so there goes our ability to Cloud Blazer. Opponent gets in with Tireless Tracker. So let's sacrifice our clue. It's a negate and a plains. Well, let's just play Lumbering Falls and pass the turn. We might chump here. Double Tireless Tracker. That's a little scary. Opponent goes to combat, gets in with Tireless Tracker. We will chump. Opponent passes. Well, I think we just have to Cloud Blazer, unfortunately. Not feeling good about where we're at, though. We do not have that much removal. Get in, draw a couple, gain a couple, another Cloud Blazer. Pass the turn. Those Tireless Trackers are just so big. And we didn't really sideboard to fight against double Tireless Tracker. Maybe we should have. 2 more clues for our opponent. Yeah, we're just like close to being dead as it is. Murders our Cloud Blazer. Gets in for about 1 million. Down to 9. Opponent passes. We get a tap land. And I think that's actually the game. I mean, I guess we can play it out so I don't get yelled at, but our opponent's board is lethal even through this Cloud Blazer. We draw 2 more lands, play a tap land, pass the turn. Yeah, so best case is we still lose. Alright, there's a removal spell. We were dead either way. Like, we chump with Cloud Blazer, and then we just really don't have a way to get back in the game. I don't know if it's worth bringing a Fumigate, though. We do have 2 Stasis Snares. I guess we could go up another Stasis Snare. Maybe go down a Negate, go up a Stasis Snare. Let's try it like that. I really think we can outvalue this deck if we run decently. Alright, so we're on the play, which is nice. Okay, this hand's actually pretty sweet. So let's just Canopy Vista, pass the turn. Have a Rogue Refiner on turn 3 into Bantharmonicon, hopefully on turn 4. And a Stasis Snare is nice. Play a Sanctum, pass the turn. Traverse for a land. I actually think we are going to counter that. Opponent does have a land anyway. Another Bantharmonicon. Well, let's play the Forest and get a Rogue Refiner out there. Start drawing some cards. Not a land. Well, pass turn. Would like to start getting down Bantharmonicons. Oh, that negate didn't work out too well. Apparently our opponent has plenty of lands anyway. There's a Tireless Tracker. Well, now just any untapped land would be good. Eldritch Evolution. Well, let's get in with Rogue Refiner. And then just Eldritch Evolution, Rogue Refiner. Grab a Cloud Blazer. Hopefully this gets us a land. Alright, it's a Lumbering Falls. Not the best of lands, but at least it is something. Does our opponent have land number 4? To get a clue. Alright, they just murder. And they do have a land, a tap land. Well, now we might just have to Walking Ballista this Tireless Tracker. That does not feel great. Alright, we're gonna lose our infinite damage finish, but we get rid of a Tireless Tracker. Oh, it would have been nice to make a land drop there. Opponent keeps drawing tireless trackers. Yep. Well, what do we draw? Land? Not a land. Well, let's Rogue Refiner. See if we can draw a land. Please? Not a land. Oh, Dak, why do you betray us? We've drawn 5 extra cards compared to our opponent, and we're still getting mana screwed. Opponent gets to sack a clue, pumps up the tireless tracker. Ay, that's ruining us, and we can't do anything about it. We don't have white mana for Stasis Snare. There's an Ob Nixilis. Kills our Rogue Refiner. Plays a land, gets another clue. Gets in with Tireless Tracker. Come on, deck. Give us a good draw. Rogue Refiner. Well, attack Ob Nixilis. Play Rogue Refiner. Land? Oh, deck. Deck! Man, we were in good shape, too. This hand is loaded. But not being able to cast our stuff is going to be the death of us. Our opponent's generating a lot of card advantage now, and we just can't stop it because we can't draw lands. Oh, well, losing against Green-Black Delirium is one thing, even though I think that our card advantage should make this a good matchup. But losing by Epic Mana Screw is a little frustrating because we've drawn so many cards. We have drawn 19 cards out of our deck and 4 lands. That's essentially the rate of playing a 12 land deck is what we're running as. What else does our opponent have? Taps, untaps, plays another Tireless Tracker and another land. Also, our opponent triple Tireless Tracker is got to be about as good as it gets. Opponent passes. We get a tap land. Well, let's Felidar Guardian. Try to blink Rogue Refiner. It works. We draw land. And pass the turn. Well, hopefully we keep finding more lands. Opponent cracks a clue, gets some more counters, draws another card. This card advantage. Oh, man. This land situation. Draws another card with Ob Nixilis. Opponent is catching up in terms of card advantage. I don't know if our opponent realized they do not have Delirium, so they are tutoring a land out of their deck. Maybe they just wanted it to get more clues and keep drawing cards. Cracks a clue. Draws a bunch more cards. Oh, man. Deck. Opponent goes to combat. They know about the Stasis Snare. Going to attack. They must have like a Shikana or something. Well, let's chump a Tireless Tracker. Opponent passes. We get a Cloud Blazer. So 1, 2, 3. Step 1, Stasis Snare. The Tireless Tracker. Send both our creatures at Ob Nixilis. Actually, just Rogue Refiner. Felidar Guardian would die to Hissing Quagmire. Opponent has enchantment removal. And blocks. Well, we still got rid of a Tireless Tracker. And then play a Servant of the Conduit. Get some energy, pass the turn. Well, for how clunky this has been, we're still sort of in the game. A little bit. We've just missed so many land drops. Up to 5 out of 22 lands. Collective Brutality. Discards a card. Does not do much. I guess it drains, which is something. Wow. Cashes in Ob Nixilis. They must have another one. Grapple with the past. Gets back what? Another Tireless Tracker. Plays another Tireless Tracker. Plays a clue. Oh, the process continues. Cracks a clue. Man. Oh, this is so depressing. Gets in for 8. And we are essentially dead on board to our mana screw. And it's not a land. Alright.